Here are a couple questions for you to ponder. Why do people get hungry? And why do people get tired? Now, you might think the answers are obvious, that people get hungry because their bodies need food, and that we get tired because we've worn ourselves out and our body needs rest. But then, why do we get hungry when we smell food? And why do we get tired when it's dark? Neither of those have anything to do with our body's energy needs. Something happened to me recently, something I figured out that I think will shed a lot of light on this question for you and teach you a new way to master your own body. A few months ago, I started using a light-based alarm clock. I'd actually had it for a few years, but I wasn't able to use it last year while I was traveling. But this Philips Go light here emits this bright blue light, and I can set it to go off at a certain time. Right now it's set for 8 a.m. And so when I started using that a few months ago, within a week of starting to use it, I noticed that whatever time it was set for, I would just wake up an hour before then. And even if I changed the time it was set for, that would roughly change when I would wake up. If I moved it, if I set it to go off at 9, I would wake up about 7:30 or 8. If it's set for 8, I'd wake up at 7. If I push it back to go off at 7:30, I'd wake up around 6:45-ish. So it seemed like I was waking up in anticipation of when it went off. And then I got a girlfriend, and I noticed whenever we would sleep over together, whether at my place or hers, I wouldn't use this alarm clock, and we'd both sleep in really late. We'd lay in bed and cuddle till almost noon. And so again, it's like we know that's going to happen, so we sleep in later in anticipation of it. And then one day, she stays over at my place, so I set up the alarm clock because we both want to stop sleeping in so late when we're together. And what happens? I wake up about an hour before the alarm clock is set to go off. She doesn't because she's not used to anticipating that, but I do. So the lesson here is, my wake-up time was being driven by anticipation. And I noticed the same thing happening at my last day job, too. I had to get up at the same time every morning, but I would actually wake up at least a half hour before my alarm went off. And similar things happen with other physical sensations like hunger. If you get hungry every morning and then you eat breakfast, it may not be that your hunger is driven by physical need and then you have to eat breakfast because you're hungry. It may well be the opposite, that because you eat breakfast every morning, your body then gets hungry at the same time every morning in anticipation of breakfast. Or if you feel tired at the end of every workday, so you always feel like you have to go home and relax for a while before you can do anything because you're so tired. Well, maybe you're actually tired because your body has got used to relaxing at home and it's just anticipating that you're going to go flop onto the couch and watch TV for an hour before you really do anything else. And so the way you can use this is, you can realize that you no longer have to be a slave to your body's physical sensations. And instead, you can just do what you want to do, and within a few days, your body will start to match that. So if you start working out around 5:30 every day when you get off work, even if you feel tired at first, within a few days, you'll find that you actually have energy when it's time to work out, because your body just gets used to that routine and starts to, perk up through conditioned response. Likewise, if you want to start skipping breakfast or just eating less for breakfast, just start doing so. Even if you feel hungry, like you want to eat a bit more for the first few days, within a week, that will subside, and the breakfast that you've now been eating for a week will be what your body is used to. It'll be enough to satiate you. So the usual thinking on this is, my body has a need, it produces a physical sensation, and so I have to do whatever my body needs to satiate that sensation. I need to rest if I'm tired, drink if I'm thirsty, eat if I'm hungry. And the reality is, physical sensations can be driven by a real need within your body, or they can be driven by psychosomatic effects, by force of habit. So a lot of people get hungrier than their body really needs out of force of habit. They're often less thirsty than they need to be, and they don't drink enough water because they're used to not drinking enough water, and their brain just adapts to that. They get tired at the times when they're used to relaxing, not at the times when their body is truly drained of energy. So just start following a diet, following a workout plan. Even if you don't feel like you can, within a few days, your body will adjust. Just take the actions you want to take, and your brain and your body will follow.